Alright, tubers, good afternoon. Madam Roy back once again, back to you with an update to the Packard Bell Legend 855. Bet you guys thought I wasn't going to get to this so soon. Well, you know what? You guys are getting a treat today. So without further ado, let me show you guys the progress that I have made. First of all, I want to thank so many people that gave me good ideas on how to bypass the keyboard lock switch. There were several people, and I'll have to look up later who actually made the suggestion, but as you can see now that I've have it apart again, you can see that the keyboard lock switch here is in the unlocked position, but for some reason, it still wasn't working properly. In other words, even though it was unlocked, it still would not let me input any controls on the keyboard. So what I actually did is I followed the wire, which just happens to be this one right here, which was plugged in right there, and I basically just disconnected it. And as you can see, if you look closely, it does say key lock. Once I disconnected that, everything worked just fine. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and snip this wire so it never gets connected again. But never since this has been disconnected, the computer seems to boot up just fine. The other thing I did was something that you guys suggested, and something I was going to do anyway. I went ahead and ripped out the CMOS battery, which, if you can see, was sitting right there. It's very hard to see. I don't actually have the board off, but it's right over here. See if you guys can see that or not. I think it's too dark. Well, you guys will have to take my word for that one. It was sitting right up here, and maybe I can get it in there. Trying to. Nah, it's at a very awkward angle. It was actually sitting right where you see those two leads. Okay, there it is. You see those two leads right there? Basically, I just ripped it off. Later on, I'm going to go ahead and put in something else, probably like one of those AA 3-volt adapters, and I'll just solder it right onto those two leads. But for now, the system is working just fine. Ugh. Got to turn it on this way because I have the cover off. So basically, I stick my little pinky finger in there to turn it on. Now, unfortunately, that does mean I have to get into the BIOS setup every time I turn it on and configure the computer, because this being an AT-style case, it won't save the settings even if the power is connected, because it's like a hard line right to the power supply. Yeah, you can see right here, now we're in the BIOS, it says that the CMOS checksum is invalid. Mainly because the battery is disconnected, so I'll go ahead and hit any key. I'm not going to bother setting the time and date. There's no need to do that. I do need to set the two different types of drives here. Drive A is a 5¼ inch, 1.2 megabyte floppy, and Drive B is a 3½ inch, 1.44 megabyte floppy. Now, figuring out what the hard drive was a little difficult because the drive does not actually have it marked on there. So the closest one that I could find, let me see if I can get it here, is this one here, Type 9, which is a 240 megabyte hard drive. Even though this is a 250 megabyte hard drive, it's close enough that it does work. And you can see everything else, 895 cylinders, 10 heads, -1 pre, I don't remember what that is, and the LZ is 895, and you have 55 sectors on there. Interestingly, I'm just looking at this, the expanded memory, this does have 20 megabytes of RAM, base memory is your standard 640K, so basically that's the memory you need to run most of your DOS programs. Monitor type mono non-interlace. For whatever reason, it thinks I am running a CGA monitor, video type CGA, but it's not. This is actually a VGA card, actually an SVGA card that's built in there, so I'm not sure why it's showing as that. CPU is on fast right now. Let me see if it does it actively if I turn it off. No. The turbo button is right here to lower the CPU speed. And if I push this, you can see that the green light turns to an amber light, and that actually slows the computer down for playing older XT and AT style games. But apparently it doesn't do it live when you're in the BIOS. So for right now, we're going to keep turbo off. So all I have to do at this point is hit escape and then hit F4. and we should be able to boot into the system. I'm excited, tubers. This is going to be the first boot up here. Hopefully the first boot up. I was going to do it before, but unfortunately I didn't have my mouse connected. And I do have a more period correct mouse. This is an old IBM PS2 mouse. Okay, it does say invalid system configuration. Let's see what happens if I hit F1. There we go. It's booting. Windows 3.1. Good old Windows 3.1. Wow. All right. Well, let's see what we have. The old Packard Bell logo. Wow. Now let's play around with some of these things here. Lotto. Let's see what that is. Windows Lottery. Some kind of lottery game here. New. We'll just call it Test 1. Lowest number 1. We'll just leave all the defaults right there and we'll hit OK. Numbers. Computer pick. Oh, okay. You must select a number to play. You know what this is? This is for helping you pick lottery numbers. That's actually pretty cool. Computer pick. How many picks do you want? We'll say 2. Generate quick picks. There you go, tubers. So if you want to get your own lottery numbers picked for you, you can go ahead and put them right there. There must be more to the game than that, but that's actually pretty cool. January 6, 1990, because I never bothered setting the actual clock in the BIOS. Let's see what else we can find in here. Data Tech. Federal Jobs Kit. Must be for doing like applying for federal jobs back in the day. Don't worry about that. Oh, here we go. Microsoft Office. Well, PowerPoint at least. Let's see what version. PowerPoint version 4.0. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's pretty cool. Auto Content Wizard. Yeah, we'll do that. Welcome to PowerPoint Wizard, the quickest way to make an effective presentation. The Wizard lets you get started by providing ideas and an organization for your presentation. Later, use PowerPoint tools to make your own presentation. We'll go ahead and finish that up. Let's see what it does. The hard drive sounds healthy. And yes, before anybody asks, I will be reformatting this hard drive at some point. I don't want somebody else's old data on here. Very cool. Let's see what else we can find in here. I did read somewhere that it had the entertainment pack, and it sure does. Oh, man, let's see what games. Oh, my favorite. Good old Minesweeper. I used to be good at this game. I'm probably terrible now. Let's see. See how far I can get. See how many of you guys from my era remember good old Minesweeper. Well, I'm getting there. Try there, and there, and there. Ah, not too bad. Alright, so that works. Rodin. I vaguely remember someone telling me this was a fun game. New game. Let's see. Oh, it's like, oh, you're a mouse. Check that out. And you have to run away from the cat, I guess. This reminds me very much of Snake. Remember that game Snake in the old Nokia phones? Very, very cool. Awesome. Alright, let's keep going. See what else we can find. Tetravex. I'm assuming that's a oh, nope. Sudoku. Sudoku. Looks like a Sudoku variant or something like that. No idea how to play that game. Alright, let's see what else we can find here. We have, oh my goodness, look at this. When was the last time you guys saw this? We have America Online. Oh my gosh. Of course it's not going to work because this version is not supported and I don't actually have a modem hooked up to it. America Online version 3.0. Oh wow, look at that. Email, write an email, read your mail. That's read your email, write a mail. Not sure what that is. Chat rooms, I'm assuming. Stock reports, news, shopping, World Wide Web. Your personalized America Online dashboard, your printer. Wow. That is awesome. I can't even remember the last time I saw America Online. Let's see what year this one's from. 1996. So I would have still been living in New York at that point. Wow. Hey guys, this is nostalgia right here. This is absolutely awesome. All right, tubers. So I found Microsoft Works here. Version 2.0a. Very typical for this era computer. Got the word processor, spreadsheet, database. So basically Word, Excel, Access, and Works Wizard's probably like PowerPoint, I'm assuming. This computer runs beautifully. I mean, no glitches. The hard drive's nice and smooth. The one thing I don't see, and I'm not sure... I bet it's under here. Packard Bell. Here we go. This one's for Billy Core. Billy Core, if you're watching this, check it out. Here's the Packard Bell Navigator. That is totally awesome. Thumbnail. Now, bearing in mind, there's no sound card in this computer, so you're not going to hear anything. Also, I'll read it to you guys. Introducing Packard Bell's Navigator, the newest and easiest way to use your computer. With Navigator, you always know exactly where you are and how to get to where you want to go. As you move through Navigator, you'll find that everything on the screen has easy to understand explanations. To get started with the easiest, most productive way to work with your computer, push an arrow key and move your mouse. Let's do getting started. Packard Bell Navigator. Thank you for choosing Packard Bell. To make computing as easy and productive as possible, we've created Navigator, the simple way to learn and use your computer. Besides making computing easy, Navigator will introduce you to all the software that's already installed and ready to run. Start using a program to get help or take a computer tour. Just push a button. So I guess you use these little arrow keys to go through the different panes here. That's pretty cool. This little animation's teaching you how to use the mouse. And just a little something from the Packard Bell team. It's really sad to think that Packard Bell is not in existence anymore. They were never the highest end of computers, but they still had a really good following, and they did make a decent product, especially back in this time period, the early 90s, where everything was really solidly built, all metal. You really didn't find any plastic or anything like that. Very, very cool. You guys can pause the video if you want to read any of this. I'm not going to read the whole thing out here because I know everybody's going to start getting bored. We'll go back to the home screen here. You can see the date still says January 1st, 1990. That's the default date for this particular computer. So you click here to go back into Windows. Let's go into software real quick, see what kind of software we can find. This is what's installed, supposedly. So MS Works we know is in here. Let's try MS Money. And if you click that, it just goes right into that particular program. No, I don't want to save that. Prodigy, I wonder if that's still installed on here. Yes it is. Good old Prodigy. I remember this screen well. This was the very first internet service that I used back in the day, albeit the one I used was a little bit newer version. This says 1992, and this is version 8.19.22. And again, unfortunately, you can't get into this anymore because Prodigy does not exist. WinFax Lite, that might be cool. Okay, yeah, for doing faxes, you would set up your name, your company name, your address, and your number. And you could probably set this up, yep, to send and receive faxes. So you would hook in the phone line to the back here, and you could send and receive multiple faxes. And the last one we'll see is the terminal real quick. And this is cool because this is what you used to use, or at least I used to use, to log into bulletin boards. I would actually call a number. Believe it or not, our local library used the terminal system up until about 4 or 5 years ago. You would dial the phone number, and basically it would log into the terminal, and then you would just, it was like a text-based internet and bulletin board-based system. Again, not going to work now because I don't actually have any phone lines hooked up to it, but very, very cool. Alright, tubers, that's going to be it for this video. I still have a lot more to do with this computer. I need to go ahead and order some type of replacement battery for that CPU, for the CMOS battery. And if you guys have any recommendations for me, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I'm thinking about getting one of those little, it's like a little adapter that plugs in to the leads, and basically it houses 2 or 3 AA batteries, and it would sit like right in the bottom of the computer. So, lots more to do on this system. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.